Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk, and I am your host, C Money. And in today's episode, we're doing another food review, South Florida, and today we are showcasing Eloise and Ernestine's Soul Food Restaurant here in the Liberty City area. It's about a minute away from a minute drive away from the Our Poppy's Kitchen, the food review that we did a while back. And but this particular restaurant was been open longer than Our Poppy's Kitchen. I don't know if I told you when I did the Our Poppy Kitchen food review that was a new restaurant that's here in Liberty City. And the good thing about that restaurant is that they do delivery. Um, but you have to order third party delivery. You don't. If you order online, they're only going to tell you pickup service. Here with Eloise and Earnestine, they don't have a website, they don't have online ordering, they don't have delivery service, but you can go ahead and order your food, or you could just go like me and order it. Now, I like myself, I normally go there for the meatloaf. I'm a fan of meatloaf. I normally get my meatloaf from um, Boston Market, but as you know, Boston Market closed all their Florida stores and Florida restaurants, and a colleague of mine told me that Boston Market went bankrupt. So I didn't know they actually went bankrupt. I just know that they closed all their Florida stores and their website, is down. And you can still order if you're lucky enough to have a Boston Market in your city or state. You're lucky enough to have one, because when I was told they went bankrupt, I was like, oh my God, because we was talking about Boston Market. But they do still sell Boston Market frozen dinners in the stores, so you can go get the frozen dinners in the stores. And they're actually good. The frozen dinners, they sell frozen dinners that you would have never thought that they don't sell inside the stores. They sell pasta dishes and all of this stuff, and they sell different types of frozen dinners that they don't actually sell in the restaurant. Because the restaurant, their main theme is rotisserie chicken and meatloaf, and ribs. Now they have these pasta dishes and all this other stuff. So going down. Now getting back to Eloise and Ernestine. Now I bought two dinners. I end up getting my mom the oxtail dinner because she loves oxtails. I'm not a fan of oxtails, so I bought her the oxtails, the yellow rice, the collard greens, and the green beans, because me, I got the I got the meatloaf, the yellow rice, the mac and cheese, and the baked beans. I originally wanted the yellow rice, the mac and cheese, and the mashed potatoes with my meal, but they didn't have mashed potatoes, so I substituted for baked beans. And here is my order right here. As you can see, that's my order right there now. That's my order right there. Now, I was originally going to order from Our Poppy's Kitchen, but due to the fact that they was telling me there was a 45 minute to an hour wait for my pickup, I said no. And I said I haven't been to Eloise and Ernestine's in a while, and I was craving some meatloaf, so I decided to say, okay, let me do that, because I wanted the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese and the yellow rice. Now I can tell you right now, this food is delicious. It is good. I've had it before. If you've ever been to this restaurant, comment at the bottom of this page, because it will be interesting to actually know anybody who actually visited this restaurant. And it's a great restaurant. It's a great place. It's great. It's good. It's delicious. You can eat in, or you can actually take out of the restaurant. I also, at the last minute, after I ordered my food, I don't know if you can see it, I ordered me some banana pudding, which is, now I like the homemade banana pudding. When you go into these soul food restaurants and they have banana pudding, you know that banana pudding was made by scratch. I don't mind, like I go inside Publix and I get the Pally the Bell banana pudding, or I go into, more Walmart. I go inside Walmart and get the Pally the Bell banana puddings, or I go inside, stores like Winn Dixie and Publix and get their banana puddings. But those are basically factory made. Like I know the Pally the Bell ones are factory made, unless you actually get it personally from Pally the Bell. But a lot of these, you may get it, but they're not with love. They may have a few ingredients. They may have ingredients, but you have to be health cautious or whatever. But when you go to these soul food restaurants, they're not health cautious. They're putting their heart into it. Unless you request, I don't want no seasoning on that. You're gonna get seasoned food and everything. I'm gonna give you the address for this place. It is 6781 Northwest 27th Avenue. Um, in the heart of Liberty City. It's right across the street from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. post office. Like I said, you can call ahead and order your food. You can also come in and order your food. You can dine in. I did that once before. My mom, I dined in and I did it. My mom was grateful because she blessed the food when I gave it to her, and she was blessed. People come there and they're not. They sell canned sodas. They also have lemonade and fruit punch. You can also get a flop. And what a flop is, if you don't know, I don't know if they have that term in other areas. A flop is a mixture of two drinks. A mixture. You can get a lemonade and ice in a fruit punch, or lemonade and iced tea. Because I know at our Poppy's Kitchen they have it where you can get a lemonade mixed with iced tea, and that's a flop. And they have lemonade and fruit punch at Eloise and Earnestine's. It's also called another name. If you Google it or you look it up, they also have another name in the Southern Kitchen or something like that. They call Eloise and Earnestine's. But it's a great place. I've had their meatloaf before. I haven't had it in a while because I've been craving meatloaf. And I know, like I said to you, I normally get it from Boston Market, but the stores are actually closed. And this is authentic home cooking soul food, and this is soul food at its best. It cost me $35 for the whole meal. My meatloaf dinner was $13, and my oxtail was $22. Now, if you look online and you look up, don't trust Google with pricing, because Google will have a menu, and the menu price will give you a different price than what you would normally get, because on the menu it said the meatloaf dinner is $9.50. That's probably years ago when the restaurant first opened up. But as you know, time changes and the prices have to go up because the cost of inflation and food products go up. So now you have to, and it said that the oxtail dinner was $14, and my meatloaf meal was $13, and the oxtail dinner was $22. And you get a choice of rice and two sides, and with and I'm not comparing it to our Poppy's Kitchen because they both are unique in their own ways. The only thing that I like about Poppy's Kitchen is that you can get your food delivered through third-party delivery service. I normally order through Uber Eats. I don't know if they do it through Postmates or DoorDash and stuff, but I normally order it through Uber Eats. And I was going to get it. I was going to do a pickup and takeout, because it's much cheaper. All you're doing is probably paying the taxes for the takeout. With third-party delivery service, you're paying the taxes, the service fee, you're tipping the driver, and all this other stuff. So I just decided to do that. But I said, let me go to Eloise and Earnestine's. It's not too far from where I was at, and I say it's not too far from the location I was at, but it's about a 5 to 10 minute drive from where I'm at. But the location I was at, it was less than a 2-minute walk. So I got there. I wanted to check it out, and it's great food. It's nice. It's delicious. I like it. I'm gonna. I don't think I have a spoon. Do I have a spoon in here? Yeah. I'm gonna try the meatloaf for you. Normally I try the food out. I didn't try our Poppy's Kitchen for you, but I'm gonna try the meatloaf. You can see that the meatloaf, it has gravy over it. And they give you utensils, they give you a fork and a spoon. I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna eat it with the yellow rice. Oh my God. This meatloaf is phenomenal. The one thing I regret I didn't get the flop because I wanted to eliminate the fruit punch together because I know the last time I went there I did it. But phenomenal. I'm gonna taste the baked beans because you know us African American black people we love our baked beans to be sweet and you know we like it to be too sweet. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now, hell no. This is sweet enough for me. I normally get it with um, mashed potatoes, but I'm not a fan of collard greens. I'm not a fan of green beans, even though I do eat collard greens and I do eat green beans, but I'm not a fan of them. So I, you know, yeah, I just take the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese is typical for what you would buy at a soul food restaurant. The best mac and cheese I told you hands down that I think is delicious is Boston Markets. Their mac and cheese hands down. Oh, I got some food on me on my pans. Well, I'm gonna wash this anyway. Got some food on my pans. So these are brand new pans by the way. Um, and now I'm gonna try, of course, the banana pudding. Like I said, this is homemade. I have to scrape off the top because you see they have banana pudding on the top. I want to get that on the top. I'm gonna eat the food after I get out here. I'm going, oh, mm. This banana pudding is on point. Now, I must tell you this. If you have a local soul food restaurant that you would like to share with me in your local city or state, by all means, comment at the bottom of the page because other people that are in your area may be watching and they may want to try new things. And this is why I do this. I do this because there are a lot of restaurants, there are a lot of mom and pop restaurants that are in South Florida, and I want to visit a lot of them. There's another restaurant next door to our Papa's Kitchen that in the future they don't have dine-in, but they do have takeout, and I believe they have delivery service because I've actually had food delivered from them, if I'm not mistaken, and I want to try them as well. But I'm not going to give you the name of them. I'm going to just, you know, when I do a food review, I'll get with you on that. And there's several other restaurants and places that I would, excuse me, like to try because there are a lot of mom and pop restaurants here in South Florida, whether it's soul food, Mexican, Italian, Spanish. Remember, I did an Italian restaurant in Pompano Beach at the Festival Flea Market. And we got to talk about that because there's a storyline behind that. And you know, there's a lot that a lot of these restaurants here in South Florida that I would love to try. I don't mind doing the traditional Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, Checkers, Taco Bell's, because I had Taco Bell the other night, and and the other night I had Panda Express as well too. But I like to try new things and try different foods like Asian foods and you know, um, diet food, sushi maybe. You know, there's lots of things that I like to try because I want to try new different types of food. I don't want to buy burgers every night, chicken sandwiches every night, pasta every night, Pizza Hut every night, Little Caesars, I'm a fan of all of that. But, I want to try something new and try something different. So that's why, try to go to these restaurants. My girl took me to this place called Akashi in South Miami, and I might go back there to do a food review. And I went with her, and I say the restaurants is nice and everything. And I got the chicken teriyaki; it wasn't the best, And she was like, "Oh, I'll never take you back there again." I'm like, it's not the fact that I just have to pick something else. And I always tell people, just because you may not like one dish out of that restaurant, that doesn't make a restaurant bad for you not to come back. You should be able to try different varieties of food, like at Eloise and Ernestine's. They have soul food where they have oxtails and stewed beef and pork chops and stuff like that. But they also have meat though. And I say, let me go try the meat though because I want to try it. They have most of the stuff that they have. You can also get at Our Papa's Kitchen and at these other soul food restaurants. But I look at it as if, you know, I stay loyal, I stay true to it. So, that. So that's it. Go check out Eloise and Ernestine's restaurant. It's at 6781 Northwest 27th Avenue in the heart of Liberty City. It's off of 27th Avenue. Like I said, it's right across the street from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Post office. They're open 7 days a week. I don't know their times. Now don't when you Google restaurants, it's best for you to get the information off their website or to call and get information from the actual restaurant because a lot of times these businesses do not update their information on Google. And I know it said on Sundays that the restaurant is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it serves breakfast, 7 days a week, but I came at lunchtime hours and stuff like that. But, and I've been to several places where they say, oh, this place closed early, like at this time, but it closed at a different time. Where a store may close at, I went to, online for Kmart. I did an episode of Kmart where it said, online it said Kmart closes at 8 o'clock. But the actual store on their website, it said it closes at 6. And then when me and my mom went, they actually closed at 6. So, if you go and Google these restaurants, make sure you get an accurate time. Make sure that they, because it's the businesses that have to update their Google information so people can get accurate Google information. I went to, like I said, one of these motels here a few years ago. I went to a motel and online it said the motel is closed. I actually called the motel and they said, oh, we're open. But online on Google it said it was closed. So, check out these mom and pop restaurants if it's the information looking kind of shaky on the Google, and get the phone number, call the restaurant and say, hey, are y'all open? It said you're closed at this time, blah, 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 whatever. If they have a website, go on the website, check out the website, learn more about these restaurants because soul food is where it's at. Miami has a diverse of food. We have Jamaican food, Creole food, soul food, Hispanic food, Puerto Rican food, Asian foods, sushi. We have different types of varieties of food here because we are a multicultural city. So that's it. Comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. I want to know, have you ever been to this restaurant? Have you ever, and if you've ever been to any restaurant here in South Florida that's a mom and pop restaurant, give me some feedback, give me some information. Maybe I'll go to the restaurant and, eat there and give my own review. Or if you have a restaurant in your city, your state that you frequently visit that has food, it doesn't have to necessarily be a soul food. It can be a mom and pop Asian restaurant, any mom and pop restaurant that's not a chain. Not no McDonald's, not no Burger King, not no Checkers or Denny's or IHOP. We're talking about local mom and pop restaurants that may or may not have 2 or 3 restaurants, but they're local, meaning that they're local. They're not nationally chained in Georgia and Tennessee and Chicago. They're only based in here in your area. So if you have a restaurant that you frequently visit, let me know. I can Google them, I can check out and see what their food's looking like. Maybe I can do a food review without tasting the food because I can do a website review, on these places. But I come to these restaurants so I can review these restaurants and give you my full, opinion on how their food is. And some of these, the majority of the restaurants I go to are restaurants I've visited before, and I've always give you good reviews. Only thing that I say with here with Eloise and Earnestine is that I don't really like. I like baked beans, but when it comes to this, I chose baked beans over the other stuff that they had because I'm not a fan of greens and collard greens, and I don't really want a salad because My salad consists of cheese and, toppings with croutons and stuff like that, and a whole lot of dressing. A lot of these restaurants that have, you know, salad if you're not going to a salad bar and they give you salad, they give you a little bit of salad. They don't give you no croutons. They don't give you no cheese, and then they give you a cup full of dressing. When they, by the time you pour that dressing on, you can be like, "Can I get some more dressing?" Because it ain't do nothing. It's just like the salad soaked up my dressing. So yeah, so I just decided to get the baked beans, but I'm not mad at it because them baked beans they're sweet enough because I've eaten baked beans from different restaurants and stuff, and they are not as sweet as you know us black people like our sweet, just like with Kool-Aid. We like a lot of sugar in our Kool-Aid. Sweet, we don't like that, watery down Kool-Aid that tastes like water. We like that sweet Kool-Aid. So, stuff like that. So comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. I would love to hear some more of your favorite food restaurants. If you have a food restaurant here in South Florida that you would love for me to visit, feel free to drop a comment at the bottom of this page. And also don't forget to, you can also email me, and don't forget to click and subscribe to our channel. You can also, check out our other categories, our other sections. Traveling with the round table as I visit different cities and different states. Um, History in South Florida, and also hotspots in South Florida, and everything like that. Well, it's about time for me to go finish eating my food before it gets cold. And this is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next episode of the Roundtable Talk. Take care.